Our next guest is actor Wilmer Valderrama. From his, you like the way I said that? From his breakout role as Fez in that 70s show to playing Nick Torres in the hit CBS show NCIS, he's been entertaining us for more than 2 decades. Now, he adds author to his resume in his new memoir, An American Story. Everyone's Invited. I love that title. It follows his journey as a child growing up in Venezuela and immigrating with his family to America for a new life. First on CBS Mornings, Wilmer Valderrama joins us now. How you doing?
Good. Can we just point out that the 2 R's that you used this morning? This is the first time in my career, and I'm not even kidding, that I go to an interview and somebody says my name with the 2 R's. It's beautiful.
Well, I spent all morning
very
practicing
impressive.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you for joining us. You were born in Miami, but you were in Venezuela from 3 to 13. Mm-hmm. Why did you want to write about your childhood?
Well, thank you for the question. Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be with you guys. I always have a great time with you guys over here. We always party in the morning, But I wasn't set out to talk about my childhood at all when I was thinking about a book. I was thinking about a lot of my work with the military and a lot of my work with the USO. Since I've been a USO Global Ambassador for 20 years now, and I've traveled every base around the country and around the world. And it was the spirit of unity, and in a moment where we wanted to encourage more unity, I thought, oh, what an interesting angle to do a book of service, to talk about the institution that's, almost colorless. Then when you wear that uniform, when you look at that American flag, you say, hey, we're fighting for the same thing. Can I write something that inspires us all to kind of say, oh, maybe we're not so different, and maybe we should focus on the things that we should really tackle on together. Yeah. And the more I started telling that story, the more I started reflecting on my childhood and thinking about all those different moments that made me recognize service as something that was part of my life. And
look at those photos.
Look at that guy, full of life, full of promise.
But your childhood was tough, Wilmer. I mean, when we see you, you're the successful guy from the 70s show, the NCIS, but when I didn't know that you were from Venezuela, that you and your family were sort of homeless for a while, living from relative to relative, that your dad was very hardworking, your mom was hardworking, and people just thought you're not going to really amount to much, really. So you go from that to this.
I mean, and stereotypically, we all have a story, right? We all have a family that put their hand on the fire for you and said, hey, you're going to be better than we did, and you're going to do better than we did, and you're going to take it farther than we did. And I think I look back at those, and in this exercise of reliving your sacrifices and your parents' sacrifices as an adult is really, really emotional. I started really thinking about, as an adult, what it would mean to make the changes, to make the leaps of faith that my family did. Yes. And it really think about my own family. Made me think about, what am I leaving behind? And it was a very humbling moment to say, like, wow, my parents absolutely.
There's Amanda and your baby.
Yeah.
That's another thing. You call Amanda's soul full of sunshine. But, I had many goosebumps moments reading your book. Yes. You open with your dad almost dying of seemingly of a heart attack. You're rushing to get him to the hospital. Thank God he's okay. You talk about how, you're in school. A story that stuck out for me was a teacher who stood up for you at a time.
Tucker.
Just briefly tell us about him, because you had gotten this role of the 70s show, and it seems like other teachers, I don't want to say we're hating on you a little bit.
Yeah,
no,
you can say it.
But what did Mr. Tucker do?
Mr. Tucker, first of all, if you're watching this, thank you. Thank you. There was a very clear moment in my life where I learned how to speak English. Somebody told me, hey, you're pretty good, you should try to do it. And I thought, oh, commercials. Oh, okay, so instead of going to 90s in stores, we might be able to afford going to the regular grocery store. And I said, delusional, like, Dad, I can do some commercials and stuff. And so long story short, I've kind of dedicated myself to try to figure it out. And then between my junior year and my senior year of high school, I booked that 70s show. And and I had to go shoot. Yeah. So I would do 3 on and 1 off, and in that off, I would go back to regular high school. Yeah. And,
And he is one of those teachers that supported you.
It was one of the teachers, but also the biggest thing about it was that basically he said, some teachers were like, he's not here often. We should not let him graduate.
And they were not going to let him graduate or do the show. And Mr. Tucker, we found Mr. Tucker, by the way. And we asked Mr. Tucker if he would say something to you, because he's never forgotten you either. Let's see Mr. Tucker.
Wilmer was a great student, talented, good looking. and obviously really, really smart. One day we were dancing in class. We were dancing. Wilmer got out there and we pushed the desk back, and he was break dancing like we were at Venice Beach. It blew my mind. Good luck, Wilmer, with your book. Good luck in your career. You're always on my mind. I'm thinking about you. I'm so proud of you.
Aww.
He's nice, isn't
How does
he?
that feel? You can see what an impact he made.
It was something.
Yeah.
I was touched by him in the book because the other teachers were saying no, and Mr. Tucker said, no, you let him have this opportunity. I was moved by that, Wilmer, as you are too.
Yeah, no, it's just to see his face.
Just to see his face.
I'm gonna burn out the time because I'm not gonna be able to get my words together, but
But it just shows you all you need sometimes is one person to believe in you. And the thing that struck me about your book is people come up to you and say, oh, you're just so lucky. You're just so lucky. You go, no, this isn't luck. This isn't luck what happened to me.
no, yeah, it takes a lot of hours of delusional thinking that you could do what we're doing right now. You know, so.
Why are you so moved by Mr. Tucker? Because I was moved and I didn't know Mr. Tucker. Why are you so moved by
Well, you keep asking me questions like that, I'm not gonna get it together. But, you know, you come to this country with the thought that anything is possible.
Yeah.
And then it is. But you know, it is individuals like him. They say, you can do it. And then all of a sudden you start thinking, oh, maybe I can do it. You know, maybe I can do something bigger than me.
Maybe I'm not delusional.
Yeah, and there's obstacles that are along the way, though. It's real life, right?
Yeah.
And he was one of those key people in your life that helped you get over that obstacle and said he believes in you, and he's still proud of you.
And thank you to all the men and women
Yeah.
that believe in
Absolutely.
their young Wilmers out there. Wilmer,
I know, I didn't want you to cry,
Thank you so
Wilmer.
much.
I was just so moved.
An American Story
Go
goes
you.
on sale tomorrow. Make sure,
And
as
it's
Gayle
a good
says,
read.
you run, don't walk
Yes.
to buy it.
And everyone's invited.
Thank you.
Right?
Everyone is invited.
Everyone's
Yes, everyone's
invited.